How many questions based on the passage? 7 questions. 5 questions, 4 questions are difficult to answer. 3 questions you should be able to answer. Have you read the passage? Let's see, what is the first one? Macro imbalances are the most probable outcome of. This is based on economy, based on something a little complicated, under pressure, within the stipulated time period, not easy to answer. Still, I would like to know how many of you have chosen the first option. Raise your hand, that is the answer. Why? Please underline the word increase. And there you write one more word, bubble, the bubble burst, one expression you write. In the passage you come across one expression, the bubble burst. In the past they used this with the .com business, internet.com business. So when does the bubble burst? When it goes up, a lot of hype is created, then it bursts. It is nothing but increase in asset prices. The passage is about what? Asset prices. Based on the passage, assets, two aspects. One is the financial assets, the other one gold. When the prices go up, keep going up, ultimately at some point they have to burst. That results in macro imbalance. I don't know how many of you have read the passage and answered. I appreciate those who have answered the first one. Second one, on the basis of the content of the passage, it can be inferred that if you look at the passage at some point, if you go to the second paragraph, please go to the second paragraph. The first sentence says, the conventional wisdom is that the central bank should ignore swings in asset prices. Means important or not important. When do you ignore something when it does not make an impact on something? Yes or no? Based on that, asset prices do not play a significant role in curbing inflation. Here again the answer is the first option. How many of you have chosen the first option? Good, but not easy. I would like to reiterate. This passage, under pressure, if you get 3 marks, you should be extremely happy. Other questions are easy. You should get, based on my assessment, you should get this paper between 18 and 21. That is good score. But passage only 3. Shall we go to the next one? It is essential to regulate interest rate in order to, what is this passage about? Asset prices. Yes or no? There is one question also based on that. So, in order to harmonize with asset price fluctuation, passage talks about the fluctuation related to asset prices. And when you try to harmonize, what is required? Regulate interest rate or control interest rate. Again, the answer is the first option. How many of you have chosen the first option? Be happy. Very good. We'll go to the first one. Which one? Fourth one. Which one of the following is considered as prudent step? Underline the word prudent. Prudent means wise. Write the meaning, wise. I'm sure you all know this word. Wise, prudent person, wise person. Especially when it comes to money matters, which is traditionally followed by central banks. The second paragraph, first line talks about what? Ignoring the fluctuations. Based on that, what is the second option here? They do not take cognizance of rapid and vast fluctuations in asset prices. Underline the expression, take cognizance, and write the meaning of that. Take cognizance means to consider, to take seriously, to consider something. So these 4 questions, higher level, in my opinion, this passage goes with what I call CAT exam. Remember, I have been talking about CAT exam. Not for bankers, for 2 reasons. One reason, bank exams, bank aspirants, a different level altogether, language point of view. The second factor, here the time factor is there. In how many minutes you have to answer 30 questions? 20 minutes. That puts a lot of pressure on you. Then a passage like this not easy to answer. You don't have to worry about that. Don't expect the passage to be easy all the time. In one exam, RRB PO 2017, they gave a passage 1200 words. How many words? 1200. Can you read a passage that has 1200 words within the stipulated time period and answer the question? Practically impossible, so you have to ignore. Everything is relative. Easy for everyone, tough for everyone. But those who are prepared, they get more marks. That makes all the difference. Shall we go to the next one? This you should be able to answer. Which of the following is most nearly the same in meaning to the word idiosyncrasy? If you don't know the word, then you have to think of, please write this word, idiot. Idiosyncrasy, idiot. Do you see some sort of resemblance? Idiot, wise or not wise? So they do things in a proper way or not in a proper way. That way if you try to guess idiosyncrasy, we all have idiosyncrasy. But youngsters have only a few. People like me may have a lot. What is this idiosyncrasy? After 30, 40, you get a lot of idiosyncrasy. I'll give one example. There are some housewives. The maidservant comes, washes the dishes. She washes properly. But after the maidservant leaves, again the housewife washes the dishes. Have you ever heard of that? That is nothing but idiosyncrasy. And some students always want to occupy the first bench and this particular corner. Why? That is idiosyncrasy. It is nothing but eccentric behavior. Eccentric. No, it is there. What is the fifth option here? Eccentricity. Eccentric behavior. Write the combination. Eccentric behavior, eccentric attitude, eccentric person. These are the combinations you have to think of. Informal English we say, imagine it is raining heavily. What will you try to do? You try to stay indoors. You wait for the rain to get eased off. Yes or no? But raining heavily, someone goes out and starts enjoying. Then we use the term eccentric behavior. Have you got the meaning? It is nothing but idiosyncrasy. Subtle difference between the two. Idiosyncrasy is a quality, part of a person's personality. Eccentric behavior, it happens on and off, not part of the personality. That is the difference. This is an easy one, first one. What is the second question? Based on vocabulary, which of the following is most opposite to the word curb? I am sure you all know the meaning of the word curb. Curb means what? Write two words. One is restrict, write the other word control. Curbs, restrictions, control something. But this is a bit challenging in my opinion. What is the reason? Based on the options. What are the options you have here? Curb, negative word or positive word? Negative. They want the synonym or antonym. Based on that, eliminate the first one. It is a synonym in a way, negative word. Regulate, a neutral word. So don't consider, eliminate that. Promote, a positive word. Magnify, does it go with this context? No. Strike off that one. You have to choose between promote and intensify. But where is this word used? Go to the last line of the passage. The level required to keep inflation on track would curb borrowing and overinvestment. Why will the government or a particular organization promote borrowing? It may promote investment, but not overinvestment. It will not promote this borrowing. You may get tempted to choose the word promote, but the answer is intensify. What is the word? Intensify. For two reasons. One reason, promote is too straight. One reason. And between the word promote and the word intensify, which word goes with effective English? Intensify, obviously. Answer is the fifth option. Seventh one is easy, provided, let's say you have read the passage. Easy to answer. Which of the following is the most suitable title to this passage? What is this passage about? It's all about one word stands out when you read the passage. What is that word? Two words, asset prices. In which option you have asset prices? Only one option. Which one is that? The fifth option. That is the answer. This is based on sheer common sense. But Has anyone got 3 out of 7? That is good enough. Otherwise also nothing to worry. We'll go to the next set of questions. What are these about? Word swap, I suppose. Word swap. The challenges for the differently abled, underlined differently abled. This is a modern term. Traditionally we use, write this expression, physically handicapped. Now we don't use it. We don't like to use the word handicap. It has a negative connotation. So we prefer disabled, differently abled or differently disabled. That means what? Physically handicapped. They have to face a lot of challenges, yes or no? So the challenges for the differently abled are tougher. Anything wrong with the word? Here I am doing from the context point of view, not from grammar point of view. When you take a person who is a physically handicapped person, he or she will encounter a lot of problems. Imagine someone has only one leg, a lot of problems. Someone does not have one hand, a lot of problems. Someone doesn't have both the hands, bigger challenges. So the challenges for the differently abled are tougher. Any problem with this word? So tick that one. Considering the body's limitations, why is it tougher? The body has certain limitations. We have 2 legs, someone has only 1 leg. That is a limitation. Anything wrong with the word limitation? No. That these athletes, it goes with differently abled athletes, that these athletes first cope with, underline cope with. In many exams they have given, please write in your notebook, cope up with. Cope up with. Please write that and mark it wrong. You don't have to use a preposition up. Cope with is correct. Cope up with is wrong. I hope it's clear. Cope with through innate willpower. See, all these questions I keep saying, but I don't know how many of you accept and understand. Many of these questions are very easy. This paper, in my opinion, passage is very tough for those who are good at English also, mind you. But other questions, from the other questions, each set, you should get 5 questions. Easily 4 you should get. 1 a tough one. That is quite natural. Based on that, I said this paper, the score has to be between 18 and 21, good enough. But how do you answer these? Imagine you take, there are 2 possibilities. One, you don't know the meanings of the words. Can you answer? Not easy. You don't understand the context. Can you answer? Not easy. These 2 are important. Your grammar knowledge is of no use in my opinion. Coming to this, what is the last word I talked about? Innate. Write the meaning of that. Innate means, and today's paper you can learn a lot of words. Inbuilt. Also write the word intrinsic. Innate means inbuilt, intrinsic. Also write the word natural, part of your nature, part of your personality. But generally innate qualities, inbuilt qualities, intrinsic qualities. Also write the word inborn. All these words you have to. Based on word combinations. Coming to the question or the sentence, innate willpower. Willpower is not something natural. One has to acquire. One has to cultivate. Willpower, imagine someone faces problems. Only a few face the problems based on the willpower. 80% they give up. They quit. So it is something based on the individual, one particular individual, not based on it is not a natural quality. That is one thing you have to eliminate, the word innate. And second thing, underline the word willpower. When it comes to willpower, confidence, we use the word sheer. What is the word we use? Sheer willpower. I use quite often sheer waste of time. You come here, you don't listen to the master, it is sheer waste of time. Remember, I say quite often. So here, sheer willpower, that is the right combination. Sheer confidence, write one more combination, sheer confidence. Then once you know that 2 possibilities here, if you are good at vocabulary, you can answer. If you know the word combinations, you can answer. Here, you cannot use the word innate, you have to use the word sheer. And when you replace the last word, what is it? Innate skepticism. Skepticism, write the meaning. Skeptic means doubt. Skepticism, doubting something. Doubting someone or something is a natural trait, especially based on the context. There's doubting someone or skepticism about normal people or physically handicapped people. What does the context talk about? Imagine a physically handicapped person tries to achieve or participate in a particular sport. What is the first reaction? You doubt or you don't doubt? You doubt. So it is innate. What is the answer based on that? You have to change C, D. Which option says that? Third option is the answer. I hope you guys got it. We'll go to the next one. There is down and need. Down there is a need, a different thing. There is down and need, neither grammatically correct nor contextually correct. So don't consider. There is down and need to talk things up when the chips are surely, here you try to replace. There is surely a need. Seems right or wrong? There is definitely a need. There is certainly a need. There is surely a need. These are the combinations. A need to talk things up, open up when the chips are down. Chips are down means when you are in low spirits. Chips are down. Perfect. But ultimately, how many options you have? You have to change only few words. Already you have got the answer. What is the answer here? First option, A, B should be changed. There is surely a need to talk things up when the chips are down. This is again purely based on your contextual awareness. If you use the grammar approach, it will take time and you may or may not get it. May or may not. Chances are more not to get it. But once you know the context, what happens? Have I read the complete sentence? No, you don't have to read the complete sentence. First two words you know for sure you can change. Then save your 1 or 2 seconds, you can go to the next one. Shall we go to the next one? Question number 10. The US has a rich history of shaping or toppling foreign governments. Underline the word toppling, but write the word topple. Based on the context I am giving the meaning, topple a particular government means remove from power. Topple the government means remove that government from power. If you read the newspaper, political news, quite often they use the word toppling of the government. It has been going on in our country if you look at different states, this has been going on for quite some time. Anything wrong with this? The US has a rich history of what? Shaping or toppling foreign governments. Nothing wrong with this. I hope you are listening carefully. Either shaping or toppling the foreign governments and seeking to influence. Underline the word seeking. Seek, write the meaning. Search for. Seek for something means what? Search for. Look for. Search for, look for. Have you written? Seeking, toppling, no problem, and seeking to influence, trying to influence. In this context, what does it mean? Trying to influence forces made abroad. Made abroad means within the country or outside the country. In this context, the US, outside the US. Anything wrong with seeking to influence? No. Anything wrong with forces made abroad or forces created abroad, forces generated abroad? Nothing wrong. That had an impact on American shores. Had an impact on, underline the word impact. Here perhaps you can use your grammar knowledge. What is that? The word impact takes the preposition on. He made an impact on someone, impact on something. But that is again the lower level approach, higher level. Do you find that is there any need to change the words? What is the answer based on that? No need to change. India has a recycled annual volume of plastic. Underline the word volume. Generally, when we talk about the volume, we talk in terms of the quantity. More, less, staggering or warping beyond a limit. We don't use a recycled annual volume of plastic. At the outset, you have to know recycled is not the right word in this context. Of which plastic, nothing wrong. Volume of plastic, no problem. Of which only about 60%. Underline the word about and write the meaning in this context. About means approximately. About means approximately. Approximately 60% is staggering. Something is wrong here. So at the outset, you don't consider the word recycle. Nothing wrong with plastic, nothing wrong with about. You consider the word staggering. Staggering, write the meaning. Staggering means a lot, huge. Write the word huge, a lot. India has a staggering annual volume of plastic. Then it sounds right. Of which only about 60% is recycled. We have a lot of plastic. Of that plastic, how much is recycled? Only 60%. Contextually, you should understand that. Based on that, what is the answer? You have to change A and D. Which option is that? First one. D, A is the answer. All these are easy questions. I would like to reiterate. Then you may wonder, let me ask how many questions based on word swap? 4 questions. Who has got all the 4 right? Raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Only about 5 or 6. Who has got 3 right? Raise your hands. About 10. Who has got 2 right out of 4? Okay. In my opinion. No, you may wonder why does he ask so many times? Yes or no? I keep asking. There is a reason behind. When we come here, the intention is to make sure your scores go up. Is the objective. Not to know how much she got, how much he got. That is not the intention. When you guys say, sir, in my opinion, you should get 4 out of 4. And you say, majority say, we got 2 out of 4. That means you have to do something. Based on that, we give a suggestion. And those implement that suggestion or tip, they will definitely go up. The scores will go up. That is the idea of it. This set is about what? Next one. Column. Many students are good at columns. That is a bit surprising. They are time taking, but you guys do well. Let us take, one reason could be columns based on 3 things. One based on grammar, second based on vocabulary, but the most important factor based on the context, obviously. First one, a new approach to fabricate printed electronic circuits could. Underline the word could. Could is a helping verb. Generally after the helping verb, we use a verb in the bare infinitive form. For is what? I am taking the grammar approach here. For is a preposition. Could, for, does it make any sense? No. Could using, can you use a verb in ing form? Present participle? No. Could the short time scale, can you use a noun? So that means A cannot be considered. Is that clear? Now let us go to, what is the next one? Devices with ultra low power consumptions are needed. Needed, underline, needed, what is the preposition you use? Needed for. Needed for many emerging applications such as the Internet of Things. Please underline Internet of Things. In many competitive exams, they have given passages based on IoT. Do you know this? IoT. What do the letters stand for? Internet of Things. Today we use IoT. Western countries, it has become part of everyday lifestyle. What is this IoT? Right now I am here and my home is near Google office. I can control all my gadgets sitting here. I can on my TV, I can off my TV, I can control the temperature of my refrigerator. I can do any damn thing with my electronic gadgets. That is known as Internet of Things. And try to acquire some knowledge about IoT because you may get as a passage in the exam. They have already given many a time different competitive exams. Here, what is the first pair you can think of? B and D. Am I right? After that, it has been difficult to achieve such low powers using conventional approaches to printed electronics. This is right or wrong? Right. Based on that CE1 pair. Which one says? Fourth option, B, D and CE. That is the answer. Shall I go to the next one? Satellite images show that alpine plants have been, underline have been. Have been, there are two possibilities. This goes with either present perfect or present perfect continuous. She has been a student for 10 years, present perfect. She has been learning for the last 10 years, present perfect continuous. That you have to keep in mind and look for the pair. Have been, possess strong. Does it sound grammatically correct? No. Have been present long before. Have been present. Seems right. Hold that one. Have been emerging. Hold this also. Please underline the word have been present. Have been emerging. Both can be considered if you want to use your grammar knowledge. But coming to the context, if you want to go for AE, how does it go? We'll check first. Satellite images show that alpine plants have been present long before Homo sapiens reached the Tibetan plateau. Underline satellite images. Satellite images, new phenomenon or it has been there for quite some time? It's a modern phenomenon, satellite images. But emergence of Homo sapiens, modern man, Homo sapiens sapiens, that goes into the past. Try to listen very carefully. We are talking about modern technology, but it talks about images. Here I said underline satellite images. Then you cannot consider this pair. What is the reason? Satellite images cannot show us what happened in the past. Carbon dating will tell us what happened in the past. Based on that, you cannot consider AE. And you cannot consider, let us check AF. Satellite images show that alpine plants have been emerging earlier each year over the past few decades. Underline past few decades. Past few decades, new or old? New. Homo sapiens emergence, very old. But last few decades, recent. And satellite images have been, they show what have they shown? Plants have been emerging. Have been emerging. Which tense is that? Present perfect continuous. Grammatically correct and contextually also perfect. That means you can consider AF. I hope you got, I have done from grammar point of view. How many options with AF? Let BD, the fast going phase of established alpine plants start. Can you say start possess? No. Start present long before. Can you say that? No. Already have used F. That means what? Only one option. Which one is that? AF is the answer. This is a little difficult in the sense if you focus on satellite images and look at Homo sapiens, only then you can reject that pair. Otherwise you may consider the first one also. Let us go to the next one. Salt marshes around Great Britain could be, underline could be and are valuable habitats for fisheries. Can you use this grammatically? Do they tally? No. Could be something, could be covered. They can cover, they could cover. Active voice. What is the passive voice? They could be covered, they can be covered. So underline covered. Because passive voice by rising seas this century. So beyond any doubt you can consider, what is the first pair you can consider? AE. Salt marshes around Great Britain could be covered by rising seas this century. Here could be covered by. Could is a helping verb. It has four functions. You have to recollect. Being a smart learner. What is the first function of could? It is used to make a formal request. And you have to know this and use this at the time of interview or group discussion. The interview member asks a question you don't understand. You cannot repeat half the sentence and ask him to complete. That's what people do. You cannot say, can you repeat? Informal English goes with informal. You have to be polite, you have to request, and it has to be very polite and formal. So what will you say? Could you please repeat, sir? That sounds very good. They'll be very happy to repeat. First function, formal request, very polite. Second one, it is used to express past ability. Youngsters, you have present ability. Old people, past ability. I could do something when I was a boy. Means what? Now I cannot do. What is the second use? Past ability. Third one, it is used to express an idea of condition. You could sit here if you like. What is the idea of condition here? You have to respond. If you like. So you could sit here if you like. Idea of condition. And the fourth one, based on this example, I had to give all the functions. Fourth use of could. It is used to express a possibility, but the chances are less. Could be covered means what? There is a possibility, but the chances are less. That you have to recollect. Let us go to the second one. Tidal marshes provide natural protection against and are valuable. Against what? Object is missing, you cannot consider. Against will start. Does it sound grammatically correct? No. Let us go to the third one. If greenhouse gas emissions continue to increase and are valuable, that is negative, you cannot use the word valuable. Reject that one. If greenhouse gas emissions continue to increase, will start. Continue to increase, will start. Is it grammatically correct? No. So what is the answer based on that? Only one option. Which one is that? AE is the answer. Other options you cannot consider. 15. Cell separation could become much faster using thousands. Before you go to the options, you have to think of the preposition. Thousands of what? Tiny needles to hook many cells at the same time. It goes with grammar, it goes with the context. So what is the first pair you can consider? AF. How many options with AF? Only one option, am I right? That is the answer, but cross-check. What is, fortunately they have not given none. None is there, you are in trouble. Stem cell transplants can help repair damaged tissue, but picking specific types of stem cells out from other cells is difficult. That makes sense. BD. Have they given BD? Yes. Stem cell transplants can treat damaged nervous systems. How do they treat? Such as, or what sort of diseases? Such as that caused by spinal cord injury. That is also right. So what is the answer here? I would like to know who has got all correct. I'll change the question now. All correct, wonderful. Highly appreciated.